Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Box Score Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan. On today's episode, we are going to congratulate the New York Knicks on winning the NBA Finals. A little bit overdue. It was 2 nights ago, I believe, and I wanted to make a video right away, but life is busy, okay? So now I'm doing it, and congratulations to you Knicks fans, you players, especially Jalen Brunson, coaching staff, the organization. After 53 years, you accomplished what every team, every season strives to do, and you did it. You won the championship, and I'll have to say, you surprised me, especially in the finals. I really thought the Spurs were going to win, and we'll talk about some reasons why I think they didn't win, but let's focus on, I'm going to go three big things for each team, bigger pictures, topics. But I do want to just hit a little bit on some of the points that happened during the game. Let me know your thoughts on the game, whether your thoughts on the Knicks, thoughts on the Spurs. Let me know about big picture stuff. And don't forget to like and subscribe. So, let's just talk about the game. First of all, Brunson, amazing, fantastic, 45 points. He nearly scored half of the Knicks' 94 points, right? He had 45 points. He had some really big shots, clutch shots. Some of them even over Victor Wembanyama. That scoop play wasn't over him, but he took him off the dribble. I think when you think about this last game, especially where there wasn't a lot going for the Knicks other than Brunson, he literally put that team on his shoulder and he just took off. Anunoby was in foul trouble and had a bad game. Bridges was okay. Hart was probably their second best player with 13 boards and 11 rebounds. And you know what? He hit some really big shots too. It's whenever they kind of needed a big play, from someone else, it was Hart. He hit a couple big threes. He had that and one scoop that ended up being a flagrant foul. So Hart was probably their second best player. And then Towns again in foul trouble. Now, I hear you, Knicks fans. I'm not going to linger on it too much because it didn't matter in the end, but man, were some of those foul calls were absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand why they were called. They were really harsh on Towns with foul calls. And then even the last one on Anunoby where it was fight for the loose ball, I didn't understand that one, but I digress. But not only was Anunoby in foul trouble and Towns only played 22 minutes because of his foul trouble, the bench only scored 9 points. So Brunson really had to have that performance to lift his team up to win this game, and he was able to do it. I do have to say it would have been a lot cooler if the Knicks won in MSG, but with the Knicks fans traveling, it kind of didn't make a difference almost, right? The bunch of Knicks fans got to celebrate that. On the other side, real quick, Wembanyama clearly has to work on his conditioning. He was just really tired. You know, this is something that I talked to Clint about on our podcast. Is basically he's only used to playing 30 minutes a game, and now you're asking him to play 38 minutes a game, 39, and it just wears on you, especially as the series goes on and as the game goes on. And that means you're in more pick and rolls, you're in more things where you're getting bumped and pushed and scratched and clawed and grabbed. And so with Wembanyama being tired, his numbers were great, but he just has to work on his conditioning so it doesn't seem like he tires out as the game goes on. I will say there was that missed flagrant call on him, and I really we'll talk a little bit more about Wembanyama actually. I don't want to get ahead of myself, excuse me, sorry. I think also too we saw where their youth kind of showed up in the end of these games with some big missed free throws or mental mistakes. Wembanyama missed a couple free throws in this game, and I think game 4 as well. And also the pass in the back of Castle in game 1 or 2. I don't remember which one, but it just shows the inexperience in youth. We all thought it would show up probably in the Western Conference Finals. It showed up kind of here. Dylan Harper had a great game, but one of the low points was he missed 2 free throws that would have put the game within, I think, a point, and he missed that. Both those and led to basically Anunoby at the line making 1 of 2 and winning the game. And the other big thing when it comes to the Spurs, real quick, Castle had probably his worst game of the series. The amount of energy he expends, and he's not your main guy or your second main guy, so it's not like you should expect it from him. Fox is your main guy, your second main guy, and Wembanyama is your first. So Fox is kind of part of the story of this series. It's funny because I felt like Harper outplayed him, and if you asked anybody, like Harper outplayed him. I don't take plus box plus minus like super seriously. I think it tells you something, not everything. But whatever it's worth, Fox was a +1 and Harper was in a -11. I don't know how that is, but whatever. Fox still played 36 minutes to Harper's 31, and that was kind of the thing that I didn't really understand what Mitch Johnson was doing. I would have tried to maybe reverse that, especially the way Harper is playing. And let's be fair, the only thing I want to do is be fair to Fox on this point. He still had that ankle injury, right? And I just wonder how we knew it was affecting him in the Thunder series, and it really didn't come up. Like nobody really talked about it in the finals. I mean, it was mentioned once in a while, like he ain't moving as quickly as he normally does. And I wonder if that affected him a little bit and his performance. He was 3 of 15, where Harper was 10 of 19, 25 points for Harper, 7 for Fox. So I don't understand that at all. Overall, great game for the New York Knicks. They just paced themselves throughout the entire game so that they could give almost like the same type of energy all game. And every single game, even though they fell behind, even double digits, they came clawing back. And I just think it's that veteran experience. So again, congratulations to Knicks fans. You are the champions, and you are now the team that everybody should try to beat. So we'll see what happens next year. But you Knicks fans, don't worry about next year. You enjoy it. As a Piston fan, I'll worry about next year. Okay, let's just talk about three big takeaways. Brunson finalized MVP, totally deserved. Now, I think there is some hyperbole right now, some recency bias, like talking about Brunson being a top 5 player, top 40 player of all time. I'm not saying he's not those things. I would say, why don't we wait a little bit and come back to it before the season, right? Because here's the problem I have. The only reason why I want to kind of step away from it for a bit before anyone makes those proclamations is just because um, you can make the argument, although he was the finals MVP and should have been, he absolutely should have been, because even though he didn't play very good, like amazing throughout the finals, the last game matters, but most importantly, his gravity matters. Like he's the one being doubled. He's the one asked to bring the ball up all the time. He is their best player. So he deserved to be the NBA Finals MVP. But Cat probably had the first 2 games, he was the best player on the court for the Knicks. Cat was. And then OG was probably the best player in game 3 for the Knicks. In game 4, it could have been Anunoby as well, although Brunson played really good. And I felt he played good in the 4th game, and in this 5th game, he played really good. So it's just that, like, we kind of make these big proclamations in the heat of the moment, and I would rather wait for a little bit more time to be making these high mark proclamations. The thing is, I think because he did it not for just any team, but the New York Knicks with the drought that they have, we're all kind of jumping to conclusions. But regardless, finals MVP, well deserved. That's one thing I wanted to take away from the Knicks. The other thing is the team building aspect. By the way, real quick, if you're watching, I really want to. I'm going to have an apology letter for Jalen Brunson up on the channel. So if you want to see what I say in the apology letter to Jalen Brunson, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Okay, the second thing I'll talk about the Knicks real quick is just their team building. One thing is we really thought that maybe building around small guards would be really hard. Whether it's Trae Young, Damian Lillard, you can go on. Who else? Maxey, Mitchell. It's really hard for small guards to be kind of the focus of your team, and then for you to get to the finals and win. The last player I believe that was that type of player is Isaiah Thomas. Now, Steph Curry, I don't believe falls into this category of small guards. I'm like 6'2" and under, or maybe 6'3" and under, but I think Curry is 6'3". So if you want to say Curry, that's fine, but like, maybe we can use him as an exception because of his shooting ability is better than anything we've ever seen. So not to digress, but what I'm saying is the Knicks build the blueprint. If you're going to build around Trae Young, Maxey, or Mitchell, or some of these other young, smaller guards, look at what the Knicks did. 3 big wings and a really good center. Very capable center. And I think you can be successful in building a team around these guys. But Brunson is probably, no, it's not probably. He's the best of the small guards. So you're going to have to do a little better with the supporting cast. And it's hard to beat Bridges, Anunoby, Harden, and Cat. So we'll see what you do. But it is the blueprint. That is the blueprint to build around small guards. Another takeaway, Wemby gut punch. I just think his reputation among NBA fans took a hit. Whether it was kind of like some of the dirty fouls, and some of it wasn't even his fault. Like, if the NBA isn't calling it, part of it, why it probably annoys us as NBA fans, is not necessarily that he's doing it. I mean, that's kind of like shady, but it's he's getting away with it on top of it. I don't understand like that Towns play where Towns did hook his arm, but that was after Wembanyama reached in. The reach happens first, and then the hook. You know what I'm saying? So like the hook doesn't happen without the reach. Not only was he gut punched there, but with his limitation as far as his conditioning, he'll have to get that figured out, or the Spurs have to figure out something where they can keep him on the bench longer, where, the defense doesn't take such a hit. And I think like that's one narrative that people aren't talking about as much. Like, as good as Castle and Harper are, I felt they've been overrated just a little bit by a lot of people because they get to play with Wembanyama, so their defense looks really great. But it's funny how when Cornette goes on the court, all of a sudden their defense breaks down. All of a sudden they're not as good, and it's like, well, that's because Wembanyama's off the court. Like, if these guys now, I think they'll be better next year. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, I just think it's a little bit. A little overrated that they were rating it, but it's because Wembanyama's so good. They got to find a backup center that they can leave in there for a bit. This is what I was trying to say. If they want to play him less than 32 minutes a game in the playoffs, pace. I think this is sort of interesting. The Spurs, they were winning roughly about 70% of the series, which is crazy to think about, and only winning one game. But I think I don't know if you guys remember like Tom Brady talking about how it's like different to play in the Super Bowl, and like you pace yourself differently. And when you're a new team in the Super Bowl, you don't quite realize that because of the halftime show and whatever. It's just a different pace in the Super Bowl than most football games. And it's like the finals is kind of the same way. I feel like the Spurs just came out with all their energy and effort for start a quarter, start a half, whatever. And they would wear themselves out, and the Knicks would stay at the same pace. So, like, if the Spurs started here and the Knicks were here, the Knicks would, like, stay here throughout the series, and the Spurs would, like, fluctuate, and then they would have these droughts where they couldn't score and stuff. I think they'll learn how to pace, but I think that was a big takeaway for me as well. And I'll say this. Both the Knicks and the Spurs are in a good spot as far as their futures are concerned. So I think this was a fun finals, fun series, because even though it was a 4-1, the games were really close, and that's what we want as basketball fans. So that's what I have for the NBA Finals, sort of wrapping it all together. Again, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.